Hi, everyone. You may have wondered if I fell off into a vat because it is Monday. Welcome to Terry TV. And yes, I had a bit of a delay. I don't really need to state the obvious to you. Good morning, Crazy Mike. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck happened? As you can see, I have a different camera. I cannot switch between my cameras, and I am using my MacBook camera, which is why if it looks like I'm looking over your head, it's because I have trained myself to look into my camera that I have set up just above my computer. Full disclosure, that camera, that system, for some reason, is not connecting with the computer. And my husband is not sure what the challenge is. We were here this morning trying desperately to make it work. And just before I came on, I tried again to make it work. But, when you got lemons, you make lemonade. So forgive me for being late today. I'm just going to chalk it up to what a week I'm having. It's good. It's all good. I'm not complaining. It's been great. And how are you guys? Today, I decided that I wanted to talk about something very, very special that I had, quite frankly, forgotten about. And that is a movie called Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones, the late James Earl Jones. When James Earl Jones passed away, it was really hard for me. And this is because something about this man, and it's not just because he was the voice of Darth Vader, Star Wars being something that I absolutely love, it was because of the way he acted on camera. He just really had a unique way of performing on camera. And my husband mentioned that one of his most, a really good performance, besides the obvious ones, like the Criterion Collection ones. And you know what ones those are. And if you have a favorite James Earl Jones film, you feel free to post it in the comments. I would love that. But he said Field of Dreams. And I said, I haven't watched Field of Dreams in years. I remember loving that movie. And why don't we have that movie? I've many times, and before I continue with this conversation that I've just launched into, because I felt it was my duty to chat with you right away because you have been waiting so kind and patiently. I thought I first want to welcome you. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And also, if you're doing it after live, welcome. This is Terry TV. I'm Terry Hardin, pop icon. Forgive me, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and I'm an internationally trademarked artist and speaker. I've done films like Ghostbusters, Men in Black. I've worked on Captain EO with Michael Jackson. I've worked with a ton of people that probably have more celebrity status than yours truly, and I've enjoyed every minute of getting to know them on a more personal level. They are colleagues, so I don't have a lot of pictures, and I just, when I meet someone that I'm working with, a lot of times I won't mess up. There are several instances where I messed up on Flintstones. Flintstones comes to mind because I really was teasing John Goodman, and I realized that I shouldn't have teased him before I knew him because it was it shook him a little bit. And I spent a lot of times apologizing on that film, and we became good friends afterwards. But you have to remember when you meet someone who is an actor that you love, or I can't talk about musicians that you love too much because I've never really met many musicians face to face. I did meet I did, let me think. Well, I met John Denver. I think I told you guys about John Denver when I was 16. I met John Denver, and that was really beautiful. I was really afraid that he was not going to be kind, and he was. I was a huge John Denver fan when I was a young girl, 16 years old, and John Denver gave me 2 tickets to his concert for my birthday. And it's not because I was so wonderful. It's just because he was cool. And my dad worked for a radio station that he happened to be interviewing on. And my dad told him about me trying to get tickets to his concert up at Universal Studios when it was the amphitheater. And the door True story, came right down in front of my face. No tickets for Terri. And I went home and I tried to do, as we all do, tell myself I didn't need those tickets. I could listen to the records. I probably would hate the concert anyway because everyone would be singing and destroying his, not making it fun. And my dad invited me down to the radio station where he worked, and John Denver was standing there. And he said, I understand there's a girl who wanted to see my concert. I happen to have 2 tickets because I'm very close to the singer. And it was John Denver. Really cool. Did I think to take pictures with John Denver? No. I never think to take pictures with these people who have maybe a more notable career than my own. And this is because I work with them. I used to think, why don't I do that? Because a lot of people remember to do it. Very, very close. I worked with Dolly Parton on a show, and many people thought to take pictures with her. Luckily, she thought to take a picture with all of the puppets together, because I didn't. I didn't ever ask her for a private picture, and my dear friend Bruce Lanoyle did, and my dear friend Alan Troutman, they all remembered to do it, and I just didn't do it. The same thing with Whoopi Goldberg. Bruce was sitting next to me and said, why don't we take a picture together? And I actually have several wonderful pictures of Whoopi Goldberg and I. We've worked on 2 or 3 films together. And so, but I used to say, gosh, why don't I take pictures with these people that I've worked with on Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, and the whole gang. Just, gosh, I don't know. And then I went and saw a guy named Bo Eason. And although I'm not a fan of his teaching techniques, I'm sure he helps a lot of people. It just doesn't resonate with me. No offense, Bo, but you did say one thing. And they always say, if you go to a presentation or you go to a training and you can get 1 or 2 things from it, you've got your money's worth. Well, Bo, you didn't fail in that respect. You had 2 things there. You had a colleague that worked with expressing through the body and the mind, which released a few things that I had bottled up. And I will always be grateful to you for that motion expert. I loved him a lot. And also you said that one of the reasons a lot of times you don't take pictures with those people that you're doing films with or whatever is because they're colleagues. And that really resonated with me. I've got to tell you, that is the reason. Bingo. I said, this man has touched on it. He's hit the nail on the head. And that's what I use with your training. Although the rest of it didn't do much for me, this really did a lot for me. So although it's not my cup of tea, if you're someone who needs to know your story, then this could be the man for you, Bo Eason. Anyway, I got this from him, and I realized that is exactly the case. When I'm working with someone, it feels weird. I have a lot of friends, and I don't take the pictures. In Ghostbusters, most of my pictures, I have a couple of pictures because I have to say that there are people that are more savvy than me in taking certain pictures. So I have a lot of really cool pictures. I took pictures when something was weird, but I didn't necessarily take on-set shots and stuff like that. But luckily, everyone else did. So I'm very happy to say that's the case. And one of the photos that I got from Captain EO was, I'm often telling people that I stunt doubled for Angelica Houston. I did the flying sequences where she's really way up in the rafters. I am her stunt double. Lucky me. I'm not afraid of heights, so I love that kind of stuff. But she didn't want to be hoisted up 20 feet in the air, and so she suggested me for it. I will always be grateful to her. There is a picture I'm missing, though. Someone stood and had Angelica and I stand next to each other and took a picture. I thought it was the Bermans, but I don't think the Bermans have the picture. I should reach out to him and see if he's got it deep in his archives. But it's me and her in the witch stuff from Captain EO, the Supreme Leader. And that is because we were made up only at top, and then the bottom is our regular clothes. So the only way I could tell, I'm getting coaching from Francis Ford Coppola and Camera One guy, who is huge. I just pronounce his name poorly, so I don't do it. But the fact of the matter is that they were coaching me, and a photographer who was the on-set photographer for Captain EO caught the only picture that I have of this. And I can tell it's me because of my jeans. And so it's super cool to see me with that from the, you know, to get that picture because it just validates that I am who I am. I mean, there are people that I tell stories about Captain EO or Ghostbusters, and they'll look you right in the face, guys, and say, I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. So then you have to say to them, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just because you don't believe me doesn't mean it didn't happen. You get that, right? Okay, then get off my lawn. This is another problem when you're 67. The 60s, I always say every decade has its own delightful basket of gifts for you. And my basket of gift of being in the 60s, and I can only speak from myself, who's a woman, um, in case you didn't know, uh, from a female point of view, is that in the 60s, if you don't like what you see, you need to get off my lawn. If you're going to spend a lot of time flufferizing stuff and not telling me how you feel or what you're thinking, get off my lawn. So I have this get off my lawn thing. You know, woman yells at cloud. Uh, that's a Simpsons thing. My husband says, old man yells at cloud. Uh, this is my moment of I don't have time. You know, time is so precious. I want to be painting and I want to be sculpting and I want to be visiting with you guys. So, like, if it's not pleasant, then get off my lawn. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay. So this weekend has been a little bit of a crazy, wild weekend for me because you may or may not have heard, but I was interviewed on KFI News Radio on the Fork Report, and it is a show that I've loved for a long time. I'm usually sculpting on my Saturdays, and Neil does his show on Saturdays, as did Mo Kelly. But now Mo Kelly is doing his shows on Monday through Friday. And so I'm still gunning for Mo as well for a different reason. And I won't go into it now, but it's important. Well, I can say it now. Mo Kelly is always someone who taught, like Neil Saavedra is about food and all things food. And he's so good at it. He cooks, he creates. Food is one of the ways he loves to create. He also loves having food, being a part of food, relating with chefs, and me too. Me too. Ever since Bravo started showing what chefs really are about, I've been a big fan for years. I've gotten my Top Chef book signed by many chefs because I'm just so excited to meet them. And they are like me. Wow, you went so much as to come and meet me. This has always been very unusual for us because we're always in the kitchen getting hot and sweaty and making our magic. Well, as we know, that's changed. A lot of us are fans. A lot of us want to meet the chef. And a lot of us are so excited when we're invited to the kitchen to see it in a closer, under a more personal level. So I love that. But Neil is just really a joyful spirit. He's a very upbeat guy. He's a very fun guy, and he has a beautiful voice, and he loves to talk about food. And so, because I am a reigning judge on Outrageous Pumpkins, I reached out to Neil. This is a true story. I just sent him an email saying, "Hey, Outrageous Pumpkin season 5 is coming up. I'm a judge on it and have been since before season 1. So if you'd like to interview me, I'm very close. And if you need a guest to fill in, you're welcome to reach out to me. Here's a little bit about me. I sent my dossier and sent my pumpkin sculpting, stuff like that." I did it around midnight, and he wrote me back. So we both also keep late hours, or early hours, depending on how you look at that coin. And sure enough, he reached out and said, "Oh my God, I'd love to have you as a guest. How sweet of you to reach out. I will give it to my producer." And he said, "The only thing is I'm not here on a couple Saturdays. I have a few things I got to do." Now I know he's probably working on that Halloween house, but whatever he has to do, it's cool and it's wonderful. I said, "Let me know." And I had kind of put it on the back burner of my brain, mainly because if you put things that aren't happening in the front burner, it can really derail you when you are as busy as I am. And I know a lot of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. So as a result, his wonderful producer Kayla, she reached out to me and she said, "Can you come on Friday after you guys got to see my video, which I hope you liked. I hope you enjoyed it this time without a lot of black tail, because my husband said, oh, it just goes black. Why didn't I look at it further? I mean, let's just talk about technology. You groan and moan when something weird happens, but let's get real. I am talking across the country and into like parts of the world, because you've shouted out from all parts of the world, and I really appreciate that you're even tuning in, because there's so much that you could be watching. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it just means so much to me. But the reality of this is something that I was unable to do as a kid. When I backpacked through Europe at 19 years old, my dad made me call him every week, no matter where I was. Well, one of the countries that I backpacked through was Austria, and it was still an iron curtain country. Gee, mini Christmas, it's Monday. But it was an iron curtain country. So in order for me, yeah, guys, I got to get off here. This is one of these derailment days. You're seeing me at derailment day. Welcome to Terri TV. You never know what's going to happen. Anyway, it was an iron curtain country. I went in to call my father because I knew he was going to worry about me at 19 years old, backpacking across Europe, not alone, with two of my best friends who were men. And my dad met with those men. He wanted to know the intention of these men. They were great guys. You know, it's interesting because when you are someone who paints minifigures and does war games on a table that's the size of your living room, or you paint miniature figures and do fantasy war games, or you're a gamer, you know, which I don't do because I get motion sick. The reality of this is this: when you usually are someone who reads books, and you have a lot of knowledge, and you're really find your excitement and your stimulation in being like-minded. And this is what I've learned. And the two guys I was with, they were that way. They were really into a portion of the war games called Napoleonics, the time of Napoleon. They loved Napoleonics at that time. So we backpacked across Europe. I hiked all the stairs to Waterloo Mountain. Even today, I thought, no, but they loved it. I walked Stonehenge while they did other Napoleon stuff. But we took each other in stride, and we did a lot of cool stuff together, and we had a great time backpacking. But we all had to go see Austria. We wanted to be near the Iron Curtain. We just knew we could get there. We were allowed to get there, and we wanted to be near it. This is before the Great Wall came down, guys. In order to call my father, it cost, wait for it, $1,000 per minute. $1,000 per minute, which my father said he would figure out how to pay. Please don't skip calling me from an Iron Curtain country. Well, as a parent, you can imagine if you don't hear from your daughter, you start all kinds of really scary things happen because she's all the way over there and you're in the US. So being a bigger, older person, I understand this. So I waited for the call, and back in the day, it was the headset with this, right? And there was a section of operators, and you walked up and you said, I need to make a call for the US. My dad didn't even care what time it was. He had the phone next to him waiting for my call because he knew I would have trouble trying to do it in a timely fashion. So he said, you just call me and let me know you're okay. So I promised him I would, unlike the girl from Taken. And I said I'd like to call my dad. He's in California, and they said it's going to be the equivalent of $1,000 a minute. I said, could you reverse the charges? And they said, absolutely, we can. So she got on the phone and she said, I'm, you know, in her accent, you know, she said, I am calling for Terri Hardin. Will you accept the charges? And my dad said, yes. And I said, Dad, this is costing $1,000 a minute. I'm okay. And I love you. And I love Mom. And I love you, Mom. And I got to go. Bye. I'll call you next week. Bye. And I hung up. because I did not want to miss, I didn't want to pay more than $1,000 for talking to me. Nowadays, look at what we've got, which is my point. So if it goes off a little bit, I should not be whining about it. I should not be moaning. But I will tell you that I worked very hard with my husband to see if we could fix it. And we don't know why it's not working. But we'll deal with that between now and the next time I broadcast. Which also brings me to the point before I continue to talk about Field of Dreams, is that I am leaving for Vermont come Wednesday, so I will not be broadcasting this Friday. So this Friday, the 20th, I won't be available to broadcast. If I am, it will be popping up on YouTube and saying, hey guys, I got 5 minutes, just wanted to say hi. If you guys are game for that and want to hear from me on Friday, and I can do that for you, I will do that for you. But it's going to be this camera right here. You notice I'm still looking up. That's because my camera is above my computer. And the problem is, guys, that I want, you know, when you're watching a video and everybody's sort of looking down like this and they're talking to you the whole time, that's because they're looking at the YouTube, that we're seeing ourselves in the frame on our StreamYard or our whatever venue we're going through, directly YouTube or whatever, unless we're pre-recording, which many do, which many people tell me I should do more of that, which I will. But the fact of the matter is that when I see, I'm doing it again, is I've trained myself to look up at my camera one. And the problem is that my camera one is about 1.5 inches above. If I look at camera one, you can see where my eye line is. It's not correct. So I want to be sure I'm looking at you when I'm talking to you and I'm telling you a story, because I want you to feel like we're together in a room. So if you've ever done a thing and you find that you're looking away, please reshoot it, because you just look more sincere when you're looking in the camera. So if you catch me doing that, it's because of my training that I've worked very hard to train myself for the last several years to get this right. And my husband has told me that we're going to look at it and we're going to try and fix it. So there you go. There we go. There it is. There's what it was. So first, let me just look at, because I haven't gotten to talk to you for a while, and it looks like a lot of people are speaking. So Crazy Mike, of course, was told me I look great on any camera. That's so sweet of you, my love. Thank you for that. And also has a joke. What do you call a duck that fights an alligator? And I didn't post it. You didn't spell it right. Gotcha, Mike. Quackadale Dundee. Oh, you're so cute. Quackadale Dundee. I hope I even said that right. Let's see. That one, I killed Disney with that joke. He says, let me post that one because he deserves to have this post. He killed it with a Disney when he had cast members rolling, and a few said they were stealing it. You know, it is really cute, Quackadale Dundee. It also really works for Disney when you point that out, because of Donald Duck. So that is super cool. I'm supposed to be appearing soon, and I've got to reach out to Bob, because Bob Gurr, you all know Bob Gurr, and you all love Bob Gurr, and Bob has Bob TV, I think it's called, Bob Gurr TV. Anyway, look up Bob Gurr and look at his YouTube channel and follow it and watch it. He's a lovely man. Anyway, I told him I'd like to be on his show, and he said he might do it with the voice of Donald Duck, who is a really Tony Anselmo. He said we might make a good team. We would, because Tony Anselmo sometimes is as cranky as the duck, which makes him so special when he does that voice. And he really is a lovely guy, but he can get a bit cranky. I mean, can't we all? And I'm like, you can see, so not sunny. I'm very mopey. I'm very, very mopey. Anyway, because I am this kind of exuberant person, this is the way things are. So I gotta say, congratulations on doing that. That's excellent. Steve Zoll says, always remember to take a picture when you're doing a television taping, because those pictures, all those pictures with you, with your accomplishments, could be made into a book, and then you could self-publish the book. Okay, Have a remarkable day. We might be opening up a puppet nightclub. Ooh, Steve, that sounds so exciting. I would love to hear more about that. We got somebody who's interested. I'll tell you all about it. You get closer to the deal. Right. Thanks. This is Steve Zoll and Sid Fish. All let's go to new comments because then I want to see more of that one. See, wrote a bit. I haven't seen you in a while, Steve, and I'm sorry. The last time you reached out, I was with my mother, and then things got a little crazy. So my mom is in a convalescent hospital, and I cannot pick up the phone in her presence. She gets very angry. Let's see. Beverly Hills Publishing Films to fund, and a member of the, and then it drops off. Then let's see. And then you're telling me, thank you, Steve. I just want to say if you're still here or if you come back to hear what I responded, thank you for that. That's so kind of you. And I'm excited to hear more about your puppet nightclub. That sounds excellent. Crazy Mike writes, we ate in Space 2020 restaurant, was costly but worth it. 2 cheeseburger meals for $135. Where is this, Crazy Mike? I don't even know about this restaurant. I don't know if yikes. I don't know. There's a movie called The Menu, and the beautiful lady, she's a 3-star award-winning, 3 Michelin star person in her restaurants in San Francisco. And I'm dying to go to her restaurant. Hard to get a reservation though. And it's $4, I think, for 2 people. So like you, it's like, ooh, but I think it'd be a memorable meal. Debbie says, hello, my dearest sweet friends. In Space 2020 restaurant, the spacecraft you see are from missions. Oh, neat. Oh, I didn't even know that. That might be something to do for my husband's birthday, huh? You're giving me ideas. Debbie says she understands what I'm saying. In Disney, where do you find unkempt bread? In Epcot a loaf. He's killing it. Terry TV. Okay, so he writes here, Terry TV live bloopers, not dead ones, only Halloween, LOL. Yes, indeed. And it's coming, guys. October is on fire. In fact, I have to announce to you, my live classes are all booked up. They booked up in like May, and I have to do virtual ones. So I'll be announcing for all of you when I will have virtual classes. Right now, I'm not sure. And I need to get Vermont under my belt in Vermont. And if you're anywhere near Vermont, I'm not sure exactly where we are in Vermont. It's probably, it's not like big like California, but I'm sure it's bigger than, a bread box. So in Vermont, I'm going to a special location, and I will post once I'm clear where I'm going to be. In fact, I'll ask Lynette today, the author of Giggling Pumpkins and Whispering Corn. We're going to be promoting both of those children's books. I illustrated them. Lynette wrote and colored them. So we're both going to sit and talk to you about these books. And if you want to talk about other things, yes, you can. But the main thing is to talk about these books, maybe do a couple of sketching things, but just things to kind of meet the people of Vermont. I'm very excited. The weather is supposed to be 60 degrees. I hope they don't have a heat wave. So I'm so excited about going, but I'm not ready yet. And so that's a little bit unnerving for me. But the exciting thing is that I'm going. It's going to be cool, and I'm looking forward to it. But Halloween is upon us, and I felt so sad that I couldn't have a public class happening. So I'm starting to schedule. I'm trying to figure out if I can schedule a couple of virtual classes. I did them all through the pandemic, and I only usually do 1 or 2. But there's a couple of things that are caveat this year about Halloween, and that is that, number 1, Halloween happens on a Thursday. It used to be the best day to have Halloween because then they did it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They went into November. But now I don't know how many people go over into November or whether they like to stay back in October. And so if there's someone who wants to schedule a November class, it won't be the 1st. It'll have to be the 2nd. And that is because I rest on November 1st because I carve all day on the 31st. My husband and I do something like that. So I digress. So I'm going to do virtual classes because a lot of the classes that happen Saturday, Sunday, the weekend before actually Halloween are so early. And if this heat, right now it's cool, but if the heat continues, you won't be able to preserve that pumpkin long enough to put it out in your front yard. It will be back to the earth with the heat that we just had. So I'm hoping we don't hit it again. But you never know with this weather, especially in California. So I will keep you posted. Okay. Also, Outrageous Pumpkins, the show I do on the Food Network, it airs on the Food Network. Then the next day on Discovery Channel because they own the Food Network, so they air it too. And then finally, Max airs it as well. So I hope you'll watch it. It starts on the Food Network Sunday, September 29th, and I'm really excited about it. And I hope that you will tune in. It is a great show this year. It is the Pumpkin All-Stars, meaning the creme de la creme compete for $50,000. And it is nothing but amazing. So challenging for me as a judge. And I'll go into that maybe after the show or while the show is airing, once it airs. But I did want you to put it on your calendars because it's going to be very, very, very cool. I'll also be appearing at the Disneyana convention at the Marriott Hotel. I understand it's near John Wayne Airport. It's new venue. So come out and join us and see what's up, Doc. And it should be very exciting, very, very exciting. If you're interested or anywhere near the Irvine Park Railroad, you know that it has a train, it has water activities, it has pumpkin patch, etc., etc. I will be in the pumpkin patch with my students and demo artists, two of them really, really good, really, really wonderful, demoing on Saturday the 12th of October. I will continue to tell this. I will also post it on my website, but I thought I'd give you guys an upfront opportunity to come and see me in action, get an autograph if you're an Outrageous Pumpkins fan, get a picture, whatever you want, because you're more together with that with me. Okay. So let's see. Debbie says, wow, that's expensive, meaning this, but she is the only woman to have 3 of these Michelin stars. And she's the first woman to get 3 Michelin stars. And so if you are a fan of the menu like I am, learning about chefs like this who have these Michelin star levels, all of them, here's the thing. You got to understand about Michelin star restaurants if you're going to go. Okay. Number 1, it's going to be expensive. 3 to 4 bills for 2 people. Okay. Expensive. Okay. Because you're looking for the experience. The food is an experience, and watch the menu and you'll get it. Luckily, what happens in the menu doesn't happen at the restaurant, her restaurant. But also, they don't refund your money. So if you commit to a reservation and you can't make it, they do not refund your money. But what they will do is change your reservation for you. So they'll move it for you, but they will not give you your money back because it takes a lot. It's usually smaller venues so that the chef can do their very best for you. And if you leave a seat empty, it means that someone else could have sat there. So they keep the money. But what they will do is shift the restaurant because they often have a waiting list. So they'll say, hey, if you're close, come in. This person couldn't do it, whatever. But research it, because once you Google it, you go down a rabbit hole. And if you watch all this stuff on YouTube, you begin to hear from the chefs. Chef's Table, for example, is a great way to learn about these Michelin star chefs. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like, wow, wow, wow. So I've said to Lindsay, I might like to go. I'm not sure where. Yeah, I don't know. It would be fun. It's got to be a one-time experience. It's not like you're going to eat there all the time, right? Unless you're made of money. And even if you're made of money, I can think of other things you could do with it, like see several Michelin chefs instead of just one. But anyway, I'm digressing, but that is, that's expensive, and it's very expensive to call from Austria. Both are very expensive. But my dad insisted that I do it. So that's great. Let's see. Crazy Mike is telling me about a Nash 172 scale space shuttle, $100. Uh, Too big for the luggage. The box I had to pack, the parts, and the box folded in checked luggage, but it worked. Man, that makes me think, Mike. And here is your post just for you to see it there. But man, that's amazing to me. That's the deal. Yeah, that shocks me. And then he says, wow, 1,000 speed Terry. Yeah, my dad insisted that I call from there. I would have skipped it. He knows I would have. So, so yeah. Uh, and Crazy Mike says, yes, hear the Terry. You're doing fine, says my husband. It looks fine. Just breathe. You see, he's also my coach. Oh, there's my alarm, which means wrap it up, fuzzball. So let's talk quickly about Field of Dreams. The reason that alarm is there is to remind me that I have to, I'm working very hard to put a phone in for my mother who's at a convalescent hospital, so that she can call me whenever she wants. This could be scary, but it could be scary only in that she'll call anytime. But I want her to be as comfortable and confident as she can be being in a convalescent hospital where she looks at the four walls because she doesn't walk any longer. So it's going to be great. Mike says hi to Lindsay, and Lindsay says hi to Mike. And then Debbie says hello, and he says, hope you're feeling better. He says, thanks, all good. Hope you're doing well. And you're doing those back crosstalks, which I love you. I love you for doing that. When you eat at Space 2020, there is an elevator from Epcot up to the space station where you eat. You know what? This sounds amazing to me. This sounds very cool. Did you like it? I think it's cool. So Field of Dreams, let me get to the point, and then I must go. Sorry, it's short today, but I've got to do this phone for my mother. And I only have a few days before. I want to get it in before Vermont so she doesn't worry. See, I'm doing it again. Anyway, Field of Dreams. Why am I talking about Field of Dreams? First of all, I miss James Earl Jones very, very much. And when Lindsay put this movie on yesterday, while I was frantically getting some illustrations done of things that I had to get done for projects that I promised I'd work on, and I'm getting reciprocated for, so it'd be good to meet your deadline, just saying. I realized how comfortable he is in this character that he does in Field of Dreams. That was wonderful. But this movie is amazing. This movie was the timing that Lindsay has, my husband has, of pulling a film that sometimes has a super strong message that's important for me to hear in all my chaos. And this was amazing to me. While watching it, I realized it's the best movie I've seen Kevin Costner in ever, including, I have to say, including Yellowstone. I loved him in Field of Dreams. I loved his co-stars in Field of Dreams. I love the writing of Field of Dreams. They write the wife so beautifully, a woman who is supportive, who is playful, who is fun, as he does what he has to do in this amazing film, The Field of Dreams. If you haven't seen it, I had forgotten so much of it. And there are things that happen, if you build it, they will come, is a big one. Ease his pain. And we go on a journey with Kevin Costner and his character, his wonderful character, who has to do something that seems absolutely incredibly insane, but is soon given the validation and continues to go through life and go the distance. It's just a bunch of messages that we need to hear right now in a beautiful presented way, because I don't know about you, but I do know about you. The world can be a very scary place. Some of the things that we're hearing are happening all over, or things that could be even happening in your neighborhood. Maybe it's a fire, or maybe it's something that you just can't believe. Woman passes out and wakes up to dead daughter in a hot car. You may say to yourself, she's going to jail, but she's going to jail with that in her heart. And I don't know how broken you are. That's going to really hurt. That's going to break you more. And I felt for her. And I wish she had passed out someplace where the little girl didn't have to die in a hot car. I wish that for her. But Field of Dreams helps you to realize that as a human being, you can make a change. Maybe it's only one person at a time. Maybe it's just you believing in what you do, and you can make magic happen. Please don't disregard how important you are to this world. Please don't disregard how important it is for you to share, even if it's one person at a time, your love and kindness, your joy, your spirit, your excitement. Don't not do this because you feel that who's going to hear it? Why should I bother? Please don't give in to that. Because if we all do that, we're doomed as a planet. And so every single day when you wake up and you see the sun shining, or it's cold, or whatever it is in your world, I think most of the world right now, the sun is shining. But boy, was it hot. Yikes. But the fact of the matter is that the more you share and the more you are good to each other, it's going to exponentially go across the world. You know, we are the world, as Michael Jackson used to say. I'm just saying that it's so easy to get discouraged nowadays. Every time I drive my car, I wish I wasn't driving my car, because the entitlement driving makes me nuts. It just makes me nuts. And I realize that I don't want to be that person who's always, kind of cranky and curmudgeon-y. And it happens. There are times I can feel the crankiness and curmudgeoniness coming, that get off my lawn behavior. And I don't want to be that person. I know people that I admire very, very much, that I care for very, very much, who have retired. And when I sit and talk with them, they have the opportunity to explode and create and be everything that they want to be. They were wonderful in their work. They were amazing. They were powerhouses. They were phenomenons. And now that they're retired, they say, well, I'm really happy because I can do anything I want. And you just don't believe it. Or they kind of sit there and say, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Because and they don't say it, but they feel like there might be a forgotten person, that their time has passed, and they're sitting reminiscing about the old days. And all I can say is that if you have the opportunity to retire, to walk away from the rat race that was your job, even if it was a great job, a fun job, an exciting job, and maybe if you would willingly do it again, the fact that you can sit back and maybe work towards that opportunity if that's what you want, or maybe do something different, or how about this, create your own fun. If you're a director, get together with people acting for you and direct something just for fun. Because a step in any direction, guys, even if it's the wrong one. See, I was looking at the wrong camera again. A step in any direction, guys, even if it's the wrong one, it creates momentum. It really does. It creates momentum. So Field of Dreams is an amazing movie. It's free, I think, on Prime. I think that's where Lindsay brought it in for me, but it might have been Netflix. In any case, guys, do yourself a favor and check out this film and realize how good it is for you to watch it. It'll make you feel better. And how about you watch a movie or you listen to music that makes you feel better so you can go out there and be the best human you can be. Okay? So this is why I thought I'd talk about Field of Dreams today, because there's a lot of negativity. I mean, a young man died, 35 years old, while running a Disney race. This is not what Disney wants to hear, nor do we. We want to know that he was successful and he did well, but he didn't. He passed away and he crossed over. And that breaks all of our hearts. I mean, maybe this is what he wanted to do. I don't know him. I didn't know him. But he did say on social media he hoped he made it to the finish line. Maybe there was a lot going on with him that we don't know, but my heart goes out to anyone who knew and loved him, because this is a shocking way for people to lose someone they care about. So I'm gonna let's see. He says, the 9 days we were at Disney, we walked 60 miles. This is what I tell people. You can easily do one of these Run Disney races and walk it. Just make sure it's a 16-minute mile. And that's a 16-minute mile from the last tennis shoe that crosses out of the last canal, which means it's last corral. That means you got about 18 minutes, but you stay focused, but not during this heat. I would have taken the 0 on it, to be honest. Candy says, we watched the Chef's Table episode about 85-year-old Master Tootsie Tomates from Snow's Barbecue. We made the Texas road trip out. She was so sweet. I can't think of a chef who's not. They are so grateful to talk to you about their food. This is their passion. This is how they paint. They create amazing food. I went and met Chef Eber Keller. He is a rock star to me. He has Fleur in Vegas at the Mirage, and he was there, and she saw the person front of house, saw how excited it was. She says he's here. So we traded our books, my little baby book for his big, fat, yummy, delicious book. And we autographed it because we had so much fun having the conversation. So I totally feel you. That is so true, Mike. That's so true. That's so exciting. And what you're saying, Candy, is it. To meet the chef, to do this. It's awesome. It's just awesome. Joe says he's sorry he's late. Well, and I'm about to leave, Joe, so I'm sorry I have to leave so early. It's good you don't have James Bond road rage. Oh, let's see. He says, it's good you don't have a James Bond road rage package in her car, headlights fall down and machine guns come out. No, I wouldn't do that, but I sure want to when people, that one time I saw Mike, and then I've got to go. The one time I saw a guy pull up, back up. He was on the freeway. He stopped on the freeway, backed up to get on his off ramp, and he was lane 2. So he was not the fast lane next to the wall, but the second lane over. And he just stopped and didn't flip a Yui, but just backed up and went. I mean, you're right. No, let me take that over. I think you're right. Guys, everything. Love you very, very much. We went 48 minutes today, and that is half of what we usually do. But please remember that Friday I can't broadcast because I'm going to fly into Boston at 5:30 in the morning, and then I'm going to see my friends and then maybe sleep. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like when I land. But I do know that I'm very busy. A Vermont presentation for my 2 books, Giggling Pumpkins and Whispering Corn, written by my author friend, Lynette Eklund, and illustrated by me. Go to terrihardin.com, click on online store, and you can find out more about them. I love you. I bless you. Thank you for being here. Always special. And like I said, do something nice for someone else. It'll always make you feel a whole lot better. And you just never know what magical things are going to happen from it. So I love you. I care about you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Crazy Mike, Candy, Joe, all y'all. I want to thank you for posting, and Debbie, all of you guys just sharing with me today. It's always very special. Forgive me, and it means so much. I'm going to get a drink of water and enjoy your week. Love and hugs, and I'll do my best to see if I can at least pop in and say hello, but it won't be really exotic and pretty, okay? All right. Thanks for understanding about the camera, and we will talk soon. Bye for now.